guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I want to give you a bit of a tour of my coffee corner here. I did make a video of me first putting this whole little corner together a little while ago, so I'll link that if you haven't seen it yet, if you want to go watch that first. But since then, some changes have been made, and I feel like I've kind of perfected my setup. I haven't fully perfected it, which is part of the reason why I'm making this video, but I've gotten pretty close, and I feel like I've added some gadgets to my collection that make my coffee corner a step above what it was. So I'm going to kind of just like give you a tour of all my stuff that I have and my little espresso setup. As I hinted at, I am making this video for two reasons. One, I do feel like I have a pretty good setup going that took me a bit to establish and like figure out what I need. So I want to share that with any coffee lovers watching. And then two, I also am always open to advice on any other tools or little gadgets that might make my life easier or make coffee making and espresso making a simpler, cleaner process, because I feel like it's kind of messy, but we'll get into that. So if you are here for inspiration or because you're an expert and you want to watch an amateur's coffee corner tour video and laugh at me, you're welcome either way. But either way, I do think that you should be sipping a cup of coffee with me, so make sure you have that in hand for this video. So here's just like an overview of my coffee corner. It is connected to this little side shelf where we store all of our food. So it's kind of like a pantry here and coffee corner here. You'll notice that we have this little signature drink sign that has cocktails on it because my original intention was to make this like a coffee bar and a liquor bar, kind of dual purpose. But we haven't really been making many fancy drinks lately just because they're expensive and we're trying to save money. So we haven't really used this area for anything other than coffee. But I still wanted to put this cute sign from our wedding of our signature drinks there on the bar area because that was my original intention. It's a cute sign and I need somewhere to display it. But overall, this is mainly just a coffee corner right now. So the actual storage unit you're seeing that's holding everything I got from IKEA, and it's really nice because it's very customizable. I bought like every piece individually so you can put it together in whatever design you want. So while I'm using this for like a functional coffee corner space, you could easily just put a bunch of shelves and this could just be more storage. I'm kind of using it as both storage and a functional space. But it's really nice because you can customize it to whatever your needs are. I addressed this in a previous video, but these white metal shelves, I don't really like them. I want them to be wood like these ones, but they were sold out. So for now, this is what we have to deal with. So we're going to start off the tour with my equipment and the tools that I use to actually make espresso. So I have the Breville Barista Express. I did an unboxing video of it if you want to see me go a little bit more in depth on it, but also it was an unboxing video, so I didn't know much about it yet. So it's kind of just me opening it, freaking out about it, and then making a latte with it for the first time. I chose this machine because it is on the cheaper end of like the higher end espresso machines, but also very beginner friendly. So if you're not an expert, you don't have to do too much. The original price is like $7.50, but I got it for a really good deal on Black Friday last year. It was like $500 something, I think. So it was still a lot, but like a huge discount for a really fancy machine. I've really been enjoying it because I feel like you can customize like the grounds and stuff just enough that you feel like a real barista, but it's not like so complicated that there's a huge learning curve. Although there is a little bit of a learning curve to get like what is considered an actually good espresso shot, which I will have questions for those experts who might be watching later in this video. So please stay tuned to help me. But it does take a bit of experimenting, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at getting consistent good espresso shots, but I'm not quite sure. But it is really nice and fancy. It's got the built-in grinder, which is really cool because you can grind fresh grounds from whatever beans you desire. So it feels really fancy. It also smells really good every time you grind a new set of grounds. And then it also comes with a bunch of different tools, which I got into more in my unboxing video if you want a more in-depth look at the whole machine and what it comes with. But I've really been enjoying it. The next tool I use are these cute little espresso cups. I brew my espresso shots into these cups every day. I love them because they perfectly fit 2 shots. They're also dual walled, so it doesn't like burn your hands when you pick it up after. And it's got this really nice little spout so you can pour the espresso into your cup that you're making your latte in, and there's no like spill down the sides or anything. Really love these. I also have these little ones that I like, little mugs. I love these too because they're super cute, but I more so just use them like on display just because they're cute and they like stack in this little thing and they're just really cute to display. They are much bigger, so if you're brewing a lot of espresso at once maybe, then these are probably the way to go, but they don't have the spout, so it's a little bit harder to pour without making a mess. So I mainly just use these for decor, but they are here if I need them. I also have these cute little coffee spoons that I introduced to my collection somewhat recently. I don't use these every time I make lattes. It kind of just depends on the type of drink I'm making. For example, the one that you saw me make in the intro of this video, I made like a macchiato, my version of a caramel macchiato from Starbucks, which doesn't involve, I mean, there's mixing, but like not when you're making the drink because it's meant to like look really pretty. So like you put the milk and the vanilla syrup in and then the ice and the espresso on top and then caramel drizzle. So like there's no mixing in the middle of making the drink. You just mix it after when you want to drink it. That's a really long ramble about why I didn't use this today. But like if I'm making another drink where I just pour the espresso and the flavor in first and then I add the milk and stuff, I'll usually use this to mix it to make sure it's all combining nicely. And I like them because they're like longer than a normal spoon, so it like reaches the bottom of the cup, and also then I'm not dirtying like normal spoons and running through them so quickly because we need normal spoons for like actual dishes like eating cereal and stuff. And then my final gadget that I use when I'm making espresso or making a latte is this, which I didn't know that these existed. This is called a knockbox, I believe. That's what I saw it called on Amazon. I didn't know these existed until I was looking for one. I kind of like invented the idea in my head and I was like, I need something that could do this. And I looked it up and then it was actually a thing. So it's called a knockbox and it's basically where you can discard your used pucks and like the used grounds that you use to make the espresso shot. So when you pull the portafilter out and it has the used grounds inside, you can like bang it on this little stick and then it'll fall out into here. And it's basically just like a little trash can for used coffee grounds so that you don't have to be like running back and forth from here to the actual trash can, and then you can just like empty it out when it gets full. I've really enjoyed this for the most part because I originally was looking for it when I didn't have one and I had to like run back and forth between my little coffee corner set up here and the trash can, which is like all the way at the end of the kitchen. It was only a slight inconvenience, but it also was just annoying because the filter is like dripping from these little spouts because it was just used, so there's still like moisture and water and espresso in there. And so I'd be like dripping it across the kitchen or dripping it onto my hand underneath it as I walked across the kitchen. But then the drips were hot, so then they're just burning my hand. So it's actually been really nice so that I don't have to do that. But the actual filter inside obviously doesn't get perfectly cleaned out. Like you bang it, the puck comes out, but there's still like some ground stuck to the edges and stuff. So what I've been doing, because this is what the manual for my espresso machine said to do, is like putting it back in empty and running a shot through it so that the water can clean it out. But obviously that doesn't like take all the grounds out. It just kind of like rinses them from the sides. So then you still have to pour like the ground water mixture out. So I'll usually just like pour it into the grate down here because I clean this frequently anyway. But then the filter is still wet, so I'll usually just like dry it with a paper towel, but then that still requires me running to the kitchen to get a paper towel. So I'm wondering if there are any more solutions. I can't really think of anything else though, so I'm like, this must be what people do. But if you have any solutions for like a more streamlined coffee espresso setup, let me know because this is where I've gotten so far, but I feel like there could be other solutions. Or maybe I'm just delusional. It's annoying because I usually make like 2 double shots of espresso every day because I make a latte for me and then for AJ. I do have to do a lot of running back and forth because I have to like clean everything in between and then make a new one. So the knockbox has definitely helped with that. But just like after you get the puck out and rinse it, is there an easier solution there? Or does everyone just have to run to their kitchen to grab a paper towel? Or maybe I should keep paper towels here. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it like I do everything in my life. But anyway, that's the espresso setup and where I've gotten so far. If you have any tips or any little gadgets for me that I don't have that you think would be useful for me, please let me know in the comments. Leave a link if you so desire so that I can find it even easier. Which, speaking of, there will be links to everything I mentioned in the description below, assuming it's something I got recently and can find on Amazon. All right, and then moving on from the equipment I use, we'll move to the ingredients, I guess. This isn't anything fancy because I'm not like a huge coffee snob. I don't know much about like the best grounds and the best beans and stuff. Literally, the beans I've been using are from Winco, which I don't know how widespread Winco is because I had never heard of them till we moved here. But it's basically just a giant, like, kind of like a Costco, but there's no membership, and everything's cheaper there. So I've been getting my beans there because they're so much cheaper than the grocery stores in the city where we live, like Whole Foods and stuff. So much more expensive there. But before that, I was getting beans from a local coffee shop here in Portland called Sisters Coffee. Those were good too, but like I said, I'm not like a coffee snob, so I really can't tell much of a difference. So I'm totally down to go for the cheaper beans. But in terms of the rest of the ingredients, this is probably no surprise because I feel like all coffee lovers use these syrups, but I use Torani syrups. They have so many flavor options. I literally only have toasted marshmallow and vanilla right now because I've literally just been using vanilla like since we moved here. It's just been like my go-to drink, this with the caramel drizzle on top, like I mentioned. But they have so many flavors, and they also have these pumps that come with them, so you feel super official, and also it's so much easier to be consistent with your measuring instead of having to like pour out the bottle. So these are the syrups I used. I did have a lot more flavors back in Florida when we still lived there, but a certain someone threw them out in the move. But I had like a brown sugar one. I had like a creme caramel, like kind of like creme brulee caramel, I think was what they were going for. Hazelnut. I had a lot of flavors from them and they were all good. I think I had a cookie dough one too. I don't know. They have lots of fun options, so that's why I like them. And also, I just feel like it's the ones that everyone uses, so must be good if everyone uses them. And then I also use their like sauces, I think is what they call them, and that's like the caramel and chocolate and stuff. I've only ever tried their caramel and their dark chocolate, but I know they have a white chocolate, and I feel like they have one more that I saw recently, but I can't remember. But yes, I put this on top of my lattes every single day with the vanilla syrup inside them. That was such a weird way to say that. Anyway, all the sweeteners and stuff that I use are from Torani. And then in case anyone's wondering, I use Planet oat milk. I use the original extra creamy. So it's not like flavored or anything. I know they have like vanilla flavored ones and stuff. It's just like unflavored oat milk, but their extra creamy version. And that's pretty much everything I use in my everyday routine of making lattes. But I will just like quickly run you through the rest of the little corner here because there are some more things in this top shelf and also in this little storage unit down here. This top shelf is pretty much all like my prettiest, fanciest glassware, and then obviously this bar set. This is here because, as I mentioned, my original intention was to use this as a coffee bar and a liquor bar. I'm not like saying that I'm not going to do that anymore, but we just haven't really used it for that. But that is the intention of this space. I also have these super cute, I think they're technically advertised as champagne glasses online, but I pictured them as margarita glasses when I asked for them on my wedding registry. They're actually so adorable. I love them so much, and that's why I keep them displayed up here instead of hidden away in a shelf. And then next to those, I have these super cute mugs. These are my favorite mugs that I own, which is why they're on display. My cousin Darby got them for me for my bridal shower, and if you guys are recurring viewers and you've seen a lot of my videos, you already know who that is. I feel like I shout her out in every other video. So hey Darby, thanks for these. And then, as I mentioned, my little espresso cups that I use every time I brew espresso, I have them displayed up here just because they're cute and they're easy to grab because I use them every day. And then just a couple more decorative things. This is something I got because I put it on our wedding registry because I liked the look of it. It's like really heavy and fancy. And I had a different espresso machine I had my eyes on at the time that this would have worked for. And then I didn't end up getting that one, and I ended up getting this one, and it's a different size. So this actually doesn't even fit my filter. So it's useless, but it's really pretty. And someone spent their money on it to gift it to us. And I'm the dummy who didn't measure the new espresso machine. So I just keep it on display because it's cute and it just adds to the vibes. And then I have this French press that Darby also got me that came with the mugs. And I feel like it also just adds to the vibes being on display instead of shoved in a cabinet. So that's everything on this shelf, but I forgot. I have to point this out. These are sweaters that are meant to go on bottles of liquor, specifically Tito's. The first two are like by the brand Tito's. They make vodka. And I got them like in the Christmas time because they came on the bottles that I got from the liquor store. And I accidentally collected them 2 years in a row. Thought I was going to do it every year, and then went to the liquor store this year and they didn't have any in December. They didn't have any Tito's bottles with the sweaters, which really bummed me out and I'm still a bit sad about. But my brother really made up for it because he got me this elf one for Christmas. It's like the outfit that Buddy wears in the movie Elf. My family loves that movie. It's our favorite Christmas movie. We watch it multiple times every Christmas season. So he really made up for it with that. And he also got me this stand to hang them on. It comes with little hangers. I literally love it. Like, it is everything that I've ever wanted. So I just had to give a shout out to that. Thanks, Ryan. And finally, at the bottom of the coffee corner, we've got this storage cabinet. This cabinet I also got from IKEA. It was advertised to go with this whole unit, so I got it and it's been working great. I got these little like shelving inserts on Amazon that I added into it because these shelves are so tall that I felt like I couldn't really make use of all the space for storage without these. Basically, this cabinet just houses everything that maybe isn't quite as cute to display on the top shelf or just doesn't fit. Like these champagne glasses are totally gorgeous, but there's not a spot for them up there. They don't really fit anywhere. So they're down here. We've also got our Moscow Mule glasses, or cups, I guess they're not glass. Some more coffee mugs here, and then this top shelf is empty right now, but it usually has all the cups that you saw me using that I use for my iced coffees, but they're on the dishwasher right now, and then we have to unload that. We have a couple like sentimental bottles back here of champagne from like our engagement, and I think this one's from our 5-year anniversary. Yeah, I made like a custom label for it for our 5-year anniversary, and I bought a champagne. Those are just like sentimental bottles that we don't want to get rid of, but they're not like that cute to display. And then this bottom shelf is honestly a mess. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, but we're real. We're real here. We're real friends, and I have nothing to hide. It's basically just a conglomeration of all the crap that we really don't use very often, like shot glasses. Not really in our shots era anymore, so we don't really use those that often. There's also like extra Torani syrups because I have started buying them in bulk from Amazon because it's just the cheapest way to get them. So we've got extra down here, koozies, extra espresso grounds from before I had actual beans to grind, and then my collectible Starbucks holiday cups that they give out every year. I also have these ones from the Starbucks Reserve. They have a couple locations around the world. These are from New York, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's just a bunch of random crap down here. There's this bar mat that we used to make drinks on top of, some wine charms I made us, this, which has no business being down here, but we didn't know where else to put it. If you know, you know. Anyway, that's everything in this cabinet. I think we've seen enough of this. All right, now that concludes our little tour of my coffee corner. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, please comment anything below giving me advice on how to make a better espresso shot, tools and gadgets that you think I might find useful to add to my collection over here. Anything you want, comment below. I will be appreciative. But before we go, if you are an espresso expert, or even if you're not an expert, but you're just like definitely more experienced than me, which is probably most people who make espresso at home who are watching this video, please don't click out. I need your help. I need someone's professional advice and opinion on if I'm doing anything wrong making my espresso. Hopefully the intro kind of gave you an idea of like my step-by-step process when I make espresso, because I feel like I kind of showed everything I do. And then hopefully you saw the espresso shot that was made and you could see like the quality of it from that. I'm really speaking to the experts out there. I really hope some of y'all are watching. So when we first got this espresso machine, the amount of grounds I went through and just wasted because I could not get a good espresso shot, crazy. I did not realize how temperamental espresso can be until I got this really fancy espresso machine. So I went through a whole process of changing like how coarse or how fine the grounds are and changing how much comes out, how much I put in the actual filter when I'm measuring it out. I try to tamp consistently every time, but that one's kind of hard. And I do use the razor every time I make espresso now, even though I totally made fun of it when I did my unboxing video because I thought it sounded really pointless and extra. And I run clean water through it with the single espresso shot button before I brew anything, like at the start of brewing when it's been like a whole day since I used the machine. I will press this button and let it run through and kind of like clear anything that might be there. So that's kind of the process that I use. And I've definitely dialed it down to what looks like a good espresso shot, but I am just curious if like it actually is good. And also when the puck comes out, I feel like it's still a little bit more moist than it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm not a professional, but I've had shots that I've brewed where the puck is like really nice and dry and comes out really easily. And it's like, it's not like it doesn't now, but it's just like a little bit wetter, and usually a little bit more of it will stick once I get the main puck out that I have to like kind of get out manually with a paper towel. And like, it's not that big of a deal. I don't mind it, but I'm just curious, like, if there's something else that I'm doing wrong that I could tweak to avoid that being the case, or if that's totally normal and not a sign that like I'm doing something wrong. But yes, it's been a journey. It's been quite the process of trial and error for sure. In the beginning, I was getting so frustrated because I felt like I was wasting so much espresso or so many grounds, because I would like change something, make a shot, and it would like be over extracted, where it would like come out with like this much and it was like burnt smelling. And then I would change something else and then it'd be under extracted, and it's just, I don't know. So I'm not sure. I think I've got it pretty close. I've also definitely nailed down the consistency, because I was having issues with that, where like it felt like every time I did the exact same thing I did before, I had a different result. I found out that the machine that I have, the Breville Barista Express, the grinder has, I forget what they called it. I think it was like high retention. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was the wording they used, but basically there's just saying that this was on a Reddit forum, by the way, r/espresso. I feel like that's where all the professionals go. But they were saying like at the start of each like new brewing session, I guess you could call it, just like discard a little bit of the grounds first before gathering the grounds for your espresso shot, because it'll like hold grounds from yesterday at the bottom of the grinder that are stale, and that affects how your shot comes out. And so I've started doing that, where I just like get a little bit of grounds out at the start of the day and dump them and then go from there. And that has helped immensely, because the problem I was having before was like my first espresso shot would always come out great because I had tailored the measurements to that specific thing where there were still grounds in it. But then the second one would come out, I forget if it was over or under extracted. This was a while ago. I feel like it was over extracted, maybe. I don't remember. But the second one would come out differently and not as good, because I hadn't tailored it to fully fresh grounds without any stale grounds in it. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about when I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how temperamental espresso can be. But that advice helped immensely. And I feel like I've gotten to a place where I can consistently make espresso shots that are very similar in quality, but I'm just curious if they're high quality, you know? Like, they're similar, but are they good? So any advice is appreciated. Is a slightly moist puck that mostly comes out all in one piece, but like leaves a little bit behind. Is that normal? Is there something I could do to change it? Does that mean I'm not doing everything quite right? I don't know. I'm just curious on the professional's thoughts of my espresso making abilities. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Those are my questions for anyone watching who has any advice. Other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you found something helpful. Maybe you didn't know what a knockbox was, because I didn't, but now you do. And now I do. Or maybe you did and I was living under a rock. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, like the video, comment, share with a friend, do all the things. We are so close to 600 subscribers the day that I'm filming this. So I'm just like so appreciative of everyone who's been just like following along and subscribing. I also like got to apply to the YouTube partner program. I'm not making money, still not making money. But it's like you can apply when you hit 500 subscribers and a certain amount of watch hours. And there's like ways you can make money, but it's stuff like linking stuff from your shop, like if you were selling merch, which obviously I'm not, or like gifts or something. I don't know. Somehow people can like send you gifts, or you can start like a membership to your channel where they get like exclusive content for paying. But I'm like, bro, how do people have time for that? Because I'm already trying to pump out 2 videos a week and it's hard. So I'm not actually making money, but like I got invited to apply to that and I was like accepted, which is really cool, and just like one step closer to my dream, which is so cool. And it's all because of the people who watch these videos and support me. So not to get all like sappy, but thank you so much for doing that, for supporting me and all the things. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are looking forward to more videos to come. This is just a message saying thank you to you guys, and also chase your dreams, because I was so scared in the beginning. I knew people like from my high school would find out and make fun of me behind my back, probably. They probably still do, but like, who cares? Because here I am, getting closer and closer to my dream, and I'm enjoying it and I'm having fun, and that's cool. you know? So this is to the haters. Look at me. I applied to the YouTube partner program and I got in. Am I making money? No, but I still got in. Okay, anyway, I need to stop rambling. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time, and cheers.